So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Curry era rebuild series, and today it's going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. The 2016-17 season in New Orleans was very interesting to say the least. They were not a very good team. They only won 34 games, but they did make a big move at the deadline by trading for DeMarcus Cousins and creating undoubtedly the best front court in basketball. So I don't know if we're going to be doing that here today, but my goal is to do something that the Pelicans did not do a good job of, and hopefully get Anthony Davis enough help to the point that this team can contend and hopefully win a championship. I want to give a big thank you to all of you guys throughout this entire series, all of the support that I have seen and been given. I really do appreciate it. I've had a lot of fun doing this series. Of course, this is the first year in 2K with the Curry era. They'll probably just add another one every single year, but I've been really enjoying these rebuilds, and it seems like you guys have been as well. Now, that being said, this is our last one here in the Western Conference. In the East, we have the Charlotte Hornets, and that is going to be it for this series. So, of course, looking for any other new video ideas or series ideas you guys may have for me, let me hear it all down below in the comment section. I'd really be looking forward to it. So, I'm excited for this one today. Pelicans fans, a little blast from the past, having Anthony Davis leading your team. Let's get into it. We now find ourselves at the beginning of the 2016-2017 NBA campaign. Of course, this Pelicans team is led by Anthony Davis, and I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about this roster because, there's some okay talented players here, but ultimately, this is not enough help for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was incredible, was certainly one of the top players in the league at this point, but this was never going to compete with the super team Warriors or really even anybody in the West at this point. So we're going to go over this roster position by position. Of course, I don't think we're going to be able to pull off the Boogie Cousins trade that they actually made at the deadline. I just don't really see that as a, realistic, unrealistic possibility for us, if you will. But we'll see what we're working with right now and certainly look to make some upgrades as things do progress. So we have a 26-year-old Drew Holiday here, who is, second highest overall player on this team, second best player on this team, whatever way you want to word it. I am hoping that he can be my point guard for the entire video today. I have no plans of moving on from Drew. I love Drew, and we're just going to see what he asks for in free agency because he's definitely going to get paid. You can ignore this. This is obviously a fake player, a fake contract, all that. We'll look to upgrade that backup point guard spot. Now, the shooting guard spot is interesting. I'm not really sure what I can expect from Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield never ended up being, a star in the NBA. He's 23 years old right now. He's already a 79 overall, which is good. We're just going to have to keep an eye on how his progression goes throughout this rebuild. He, of course, was in the DeMarcus Cousins trade at the deadline as well. Ignore that. The small forward spot, you got Tyreke Evans, who was really good at one point. He was an absolute bucket, if you don't remember Tyreke Evans, but he's 27 right now, also an expiring deal. And we're going to have to keep an eye on, what that progression kind of looks like. I'll certainly consider a few trade offers, but we'll see how, that ends up going before we do kick off year number one. You got Solomon Hill, or a user-created Solomon Hill behind him. He's 25. That is a big, fat contract. And, I don't love it, to be quite honest with you. We got Dante Cunningham here as well, along with two auto-generated players. The power forward spot, of course, is Anthony Davis. I would like to leave him at power forward throughout the 3 years. There's an argument to be made to maybe move him to center, but I'm going to leave him at the power forward spot at least for now. And then finally, the center spot's not great. Omar Ashik, Alexis Ajinka. This is certainly a position we're going to have to upgrade at some point. But I do think there are some things we can do, immediately to make this team better. I'm not going to go all in and trade all of our draft picks just because I don't think that's necessarily smart. But, there's one or two moves that we can, make to hopefully be a little bit more competitive. Our first trade of today's video is going to come with the Houston Rockets. Tyreke Evans, we just discussed him a little bit, although he is a good, nice, quality role player, however the hell you want to talk about it. He's an expiring deal. He's 27 years old, and I'd like to get a little bit younger around the, the nucleus of this team. So sending him to Houston. In return, we're getting ourselves Clint Capella and Corey Brewer. Capella has a year of team control after this, which is, of course, a really important thing because I do see a world where he is our starting center for the rest of this video. So also getting Brewer here in return. I think the biggest thing for me is we're not giving up a single draft pick. We potentially just, added Anthony Davis as running mate in the front court. So excited about that. That is one trade down. Definitely still got a few more to go. After the Clint Capella trade, we no longer have a need to have Omar Ashik on this team. We just have a lot of depth in that spot. So we're going to move him to the Denver Nuggets, and in return, we're going to get ourselves a backup point guard here in Jameer Nelson. Now, Nelson is 34. He's only 73 overall. This isn't a home run by any means, but it's a good plug and play for at least one season. So just getting, a real player behind Drew Holiday, I think is going to be, pretty beneficial to this team. I don't expose the stupidity of 2K, super often, as much as I can. I like to keep it, somewhat realistic in that aspect. But you know what? This one's going to go through today, and we're going to pull it off. Ivica Zubac is not necessarily needed. We have Clint Capella, but having both of them, relatively young on rookie scale contracts, think it's going to be really beneficial. So, yes, center is not a big need right now, but when this trade came up, I thought it was just too good to pass up on. So, Dante Cunningham going to the Lakers, Zubac's coming back here to New Orleans, and now we have, a nice young center duo to hopefully pair alongside Anthony Davis. We definitely still have some other, needs on this team, so there are going to be some more trades coming. This is also a trade I have done in the past. It is not my favorite thing to do, but there are only so many players I can actually, realistically trade for here in 2K in year one. So Alexis Ajinka in a future second going to Philadelphia, getting ourselves Jeremy Grant in return. Lower overall, but still relatively young. He'll be Anthony Davis's backup. And unfortunately, because I've run out of real NBA players to trade, and it's only, the user-created fake roster fillers, we are going to have to pivot to free agency. And we're going to sign Jordan Crawford to a 2-year deal. Not a bad move. I don't love signing free agents, but again, I'm working with limited assets right now. So Jordan Crawford will come in. He'll be the backup to Buddy Hield, and that'll actually be our final trade before we kick off year one. After a few relatively impactful trades, I have gone ahead and finalized this 10-man rotation. Now, is this going to be one of the best teams in the league? I don't necessarily think we're quite there yet, but I think we're definitely better off than where we started. Here's how it's going to look. Drew Holiday, Buddy Hield in our backcourt. Probably no real major surprises there. Solomon Hill, our user-created Solomon Hill, is going to get the nod to start at the small forward spot. Certainly a position I'd look to upgrade at some point, but, we moved on from Tyreek Evans, and I think it is going to be beneficial in the long term. Of course, Anthony Davis here at our power forward spot, and then newly acquired Clint Capella, his running mate in the front court. Now, the bench unit, I'd say we upgraded a little bit. Of course, we made some moves. We signed a free agent here who's actually going to be our sixth man in Jordan Crawford. You got Zubac's backing up Capella, Jameer Nelson at the backup point guard spot, Jeremy Grant, and finally Corey Brewer rounding out the 10-man rotation. So I have no idea who Brian Wyatt is. I'm almost positive that, was it David Fizdale was the coach of this team? I think he was. Oh, no, it's Alvin Gentry. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm getting completely mixed up on this Monday morning. But yes, Alvin Gentry, was the head coach of this Pelicans team. And yeah, so he's not obviously here in 2K. So this is what we're working with for now. I will see you guys at the end of year number one. I think for the first time ever, a team that I'm rebuilding finished with exactly the same record as the team did in real life. We go 34-48, which is not good. We're not a playoff team. We obviously still have a lot of work to do. And yeah, just kind of the story of the mid-2010s Pelicans. They were never able to get Anthony Davis enough help. Hopefully I'm able to change that within the next 2 off seasons. Now, Russell Westbrook, he is your MVP. You got Simmons, Rookie of the Year, Lou Will, Draymond Green, Nikola Jokic, Mike Woodson, who don't think was the coach of the Clippers. Would have been Doc Rivers, but neither here nor there. Okay, let's talk about the standings. As I mentioned, 34 wins is not great. We were the 11th seed here in the Western Conference. I think they were actually the 10th in real life. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to, build upon a really bad season and really just hope we're able to bring in some more impactful players. Anthony Davis was really good. Drew Holiday doing his thing. Double-digit assists is great. Buddy Hield, Clint Capella, Crawford, Hill, Zubac's, Nelson, Grant, and then Brewer. Led in rebounds by Anthony Davis. Led in assists by Drew Holiday. Okay, no playoffs for us year one. Not necessarily the biggest surprise in the world. It is the Golden State Warriors taking down the Toronto Raptors in 7 games. And Kevin Durant, who was, one of, if not the best player in the world at this time, is going to be your finals MVP. Okay, some notable names retiring here. Doesn't really affect us too much. Hall of Fame, jersey retirements, historic changes, that is fine. And then the draft lottery, which we do have our first round pick. 2K screws this up, and they actually said the Kings had our pick, but they did not. That was from the DeMarcus Cousins trade, which of course did not happen in this reality. So we have our own pick back. It's projected to be number 10 right now, and it ends up right. Oh, wow, we fell one. Okay, awesome. We're at number 11. Okay, I don't know who Brian Wyatt is. I'm good. I'm all set there. I could maybe look for, like, Budenholzer's here. I wouldn't actually hate that. Some other names. I'm just trying to get, like, somebody I don't get often. I mean, again, I know I, do rebuilds on a daily basis, so I can only get so many different coaches, but, ooh, Mike Woodson's here. All right. I already made 2 offers. Also throw some money at Doc Rivers. I know people have varying opinions about Doc Rivers, but either Budenholzer or Snyder. Let's go Budenholzer. Okay, we approach the 2017 draft. We have the 11th overall pick. It's a nice pick. It's certainly not a great pick. We don't have a ton of future tradable assets as well in the draft department. I think there's a move or two I want to make before we head into the draft, but, hang with me. I'll see what I can do. The Boston Celtics currently own the 9th overall selection. I'd like to move up a couple spots. This is the 11th overall pick in round 1. This is the 11th overall pick in round 2. So, want to make a deal? They want Jameer Nelson, a 2020 second. They'll actually give me another first. God, this game's logic is so fucking stupid. So 9 is obviously not going to get us, one of the best players. We're not getting Mitchell or Tatum or Bam or, Fox or anybody like that. But we're going to go ahead and hopefully get somebody to the point where they can still make... Actually, we could still get Bam out of bio. Not really a big need. Ooh, this is tough because I don't really need Bam. The center spot, outside of power forward and point guard, is probably the most solidified position on this team. But I think Bam makes a lot of sense for us. I think pretty easily he's going to be the best player sitting here. I mean, again, Markelle Fultz, Dennis Smith. I'm taking Bam. I have to take Bam. I don't know if that's the best fit in the world, but I'm going to take Bam out of bio. And yeah, we'll just figure something out at the center spot. But Bam's welcome to the team. Free agency here. I think Drew Holiday is going to obviously be my number one priority. We got a little bit of money to play with. Unfortunately, not enough for the Steph Currys of the world. So I was always going to pay Drew. Let's just give him his money and welcome back to the team. All right, at this point, it's about the trade market. We obviously are going to look to make some upgrades pretty much all across the board and hopefully find something impactful. Holy shit. Okay. I probably just overpaid, and I understand that. Because the 3 first-round picks is a lot for Zach LaVine, who's an 80 overall. But I just spent 12 minutes looking for, some sort of upgrade on this team. And I tried a bunch of different trades, and none of them are really working for me. So I understand Zach LaVine's also listed as a shooting guard. I'm just going to move Buddy Hield to the 3. I don't really think that's the end of the world. And now we have, a new 2 and a new 3. So giving up 3 first-round draft picks, again, not my favorite thing in the world. But you know what? It's an upgrade. He should develop pretty well. And I think he's going to be a pretty good fit with this team. So at this point, of course, we were, moving on from Zubac, who I thought was, a really nice and affordable contract. But ultimately, we drafted Bam and kind of got him, as a steal, relatively speaking. So I think at this point, it's just about finding other upgrades on this bench. We do have a little bit of money to play with here in free agency. Don't really love any of those options. These aren't great either. So you know what? We're going to throw a little money here at 5'11", Ty Lawson. Welcome to the team. He's going to be the new backup behind Drew Holiday. Okay, that's cool there. I'm fine with Crawford for one more year. And then this is something I could look to upgrade. You know what? I think I'll actually give one more season, though, to Solomon Hill, or, user-created Solomon Hill. And then Corey Brewer, who's expiring and is now not really needed, can be traded out for a first-round draft pick, which is also certainly something we are in the market for. So, that's fun. All right, that's cool with me. That contract, I don't know who the hell that was, but that is a disgusting contract, so let's just move that. Thank you. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Year 1 in New Orleans was not necessarily successful whatsoever. We won 34 games and did not make the playoffs. Now, this offseason, we made some pretty big additions. Of course, adding Zach LaVine, Bam Adebayo, some other nice bench pieces, and I'd like to think we're going to be a better team this year. I'd like to. Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Buddy Hield, Anthony Davis, Clint Capella. Was actually hoping for a little bit more progression out of, Capella, LaVine, and Hield. Just didn't really see it here, unfortunately. Bench unit will be led by Ty Lawson. Of course, we drafted Bam, got Solomon Hill, Jordan Crawford, and then Jeremy Grant rounding out the rotation. Other good news is we have a new head coach, Mike Budenholzer. So hopefully it is enough to get this team at least into the playoffs. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. Steph Curry, the Los Angeles Clipper, is your MVP. Wow, not words I ever thought would come out of my mouth. But he is, and he is your MVP. Really, really good season out of him. More importantly, we go 56-26. It is obviously our best record yet. It is 22 games better than last year, I think, and I'm really hoping that this team can actually be competitive in a loaded Western Conference. I have no idea. Eric Bledsoe, your 6th man. You got Kawhi winning DPOY. Henry Ellenson, most improved. Stephen Butler, your coach of the year. Okay, well, looks like we are the 3 seed here in the West, and our reward for being the 3 seed is getting to face the Golden State Warriors in round 1. Now, we obviously saw that Steph Curry had left the team, but they still got KD, Clay, Draymond, whole 9 yards. So not an easy first-round matchup whatsoever. Here are the numbers across the board. Anthony Davis, Zach LaVine, Drew Holiday, Buddy Hield, Clint Capella. You got Lawson, Crawford, Hill, Adebayo, and then Grant. Led in rebounds by Anthony Davis. Led in assists by Drew Holiday. Okay. Here's what the Golden State Warriors look like. They've replaced Steph with Brandon Jennings. You got Thompson, KD, Draymond, Damian. What? Huh? Gordon Hayward. How did you have the fucking money to sign Gordon Hayward? Oh, give me a fucking break, 2K. Good God. We're not better than this team. There's no way we're better than this team. We're down 3-1. I mean, it just gets to a point where I get pretty fucking annoyed by this shit. Because why do they Warriors have Gordon Hayward money? Oh, man. Drew, I need a little bit more out of you in the scoring department. Really, 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 really annoying first-round series. Clippers are just okay. All right, final offseason. I am hoping we have gotten to the point where we're, good enough. But, we just need maybe one more thing to go our way. That Minnesota pick's lottery protected. Would have been really nice to have it. It ended up at number 3. We will have a tradable asset next year, though, which is always good news. Okay, the 2018 draft. This is Luka. This is Trae Young. We're obviously not going to get either of those two players. We do have our own first-round pick at number 25, which I think I would be willing to draft somebody there. We have a couple bench pieces hitting free agency. Not that I wouldn't bring them back, but if, there's a guy I can get here that can maybe make an impact. Like, DeAnthony Melton wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Duncan Robinson sitting here, but like they're just probably lower-ish overall. So you know what? I'm going to take DeAnthony Melton. I'm not sure if he'll actually play for me or not, but why the hell not? He's a 71. Probably not. Buddy Hield will be brought back. We have Capella and Levine entering restricted free agency. We don't really have, we have a little bit of money. Is there a way to get this done? I don't know if I'm going to get LeBron, but like if I could clear up like another 10-ish million, might be able to get something pretty close to it. That would probably just be a Solomon Hill trade. You know what? I think I can make something work. Wait a minute here. We're going to move on from Solomon Hill. I'm going to try to find a way to make an upgrade. If I go out and like throw some money like Paul George has no offers. I think we could maybe get this done with PG. Because you know what? He has no offer. He might be willing to accept that on day one. You know what? Let's give it a go. And then I'm going to have to wait on Capella, Grant, and Levine, but that's fine. Now, the only unfortunate thing is I might have to work on the qualifying offer because those are going to be expensive. Okay, we get Paul George. I have to renounce Capella. Or Grant. Shit. Okay, we're good there. Now, Capella's got to either go. Okay, that's the tough part of this. I can maybe get it done if I move Ty Lawson. But again, I know this is very, very risky at this point, and I understand people are probably not, loving this because, again, this is always a very, very risky proposition. So renounce, do not renounce. Oh, my God, I'm able to do it. All right, we got Paul George. I'm going to, let Jeremy Grant go begrudge. Oh, I don't even have to let Grant go. All right, well, Paul George, welcome to the team. Now I just got to keep an eye on this, right? I don't think Levine, how fucking, selfish are the Warriors trying to just sign literally everybody. Do not renounce. We are good. One more day. Should still be good, I think. That's just a qualifying. That's just, that's a real offer from the Clippers. Okay. And then Levine, no. All right. We're going to overpay a little bit here. Trust me. Do not accept. Do not renounce. We get PG, and then we should be good right about now. We're going to pay Clint Capella. We're going to pay Jeremy Grant, and I'm going to pay Zach LaVine. Okay. 2 out of 3 is not bad. And then we'll wait on Capella. Capella's restricted anyways. He can't go anywhere. Okay, well, we got Paul George and finally added a little bit more help here for Anthony Davis. And now we are definitely going to look into the trade market. We're signing Pat Connaughton to a 2-year, roughly $9.23 million contract. And I actually think I'm just going to run this thing. I understand Melton's going to be a super low overall, but he's really only going to play 10 minutes a night. And I think we're good enough, man. I really do. I know we have just a lot of draft picks here that unfortunately I'm just really not going to be able to do anything with. But like, what other move is really out there, right? I just don't really see it. Is there a Capella deal that like really upgrades this, starting 5? I don't know if that's really there. He's only making $13 million. I'll glance. I know I also just re-signed him. Call it a sign and trade. Call it whatever you want. But I just don't really think anybody's going to be making kind of money really within that neighborhood. Like 33-year-old Joakim Noah, probably not. Nerlens Noel. Yeah, I don't really see it out there. Vucevic, but it's just not really a major upgrade. So you know what? We're just going to run this thing. We are going to run this thing, and I'll just see you guys at the start of year 3. I am very much hoping this team, is enough. I think the Paul George acquisition is huge for obvious reasons. And I really think this is the group that is going to fit the best together. Now, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, of course, Paul George, Anthony Davis, and Clint Capella is going to be the starting 5. Buddy Hield slides into a 6-man role. Still got Bam Adebayo, Jeremy Grant, Pat Connaughton, and then, 71 overall. DeAnthony Melton is not a perfect backup point guard by any means, but it's 10 minutes a night. Who really cares? I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. Kyrie Irving taking home the MVP award here at the end of year number 3. I wonder if LeBron left. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just, throwing it out there as a possibility. We tied the best record in NBA history at 73-9, which is a really good sign. I am hoping our season does not end like the Warriors did when they won 73 games, but nonetheless, we're in a pretty good spot. Luka is a member of the Hornets. He's your rookie of the year. Gordon Hayward, fuck off, Warriors. Kawhi wins Deep Boy. Lonzo most improved. Mike Budenholzer, our head guy, is your coach of the year. So we are the 1 seed. Shouldn't be a surprise there. We're 16 games up on the Spurs. Holy shit, the Warriors missed the playoffs. And then here's a look at the East, who has 3 teams that have won 63-plus games. okay. Here are the numbers all across the board. Scoring going to, spread out a little bit. That, of course, makes sense with the Paul George edition, but this was a really well-balanced operation. And I think we're at the point where we clearly have enough. We're an experienced group at this point. Why is Chris Paul a member of the Suns, a little bit earlier than he, of course, ended up being in real life? That's a really scary backcourt, but as a whole, I think we're definitely a better team. So, currently up 3-0 against the Suns. They do win Game 4 at home, and then we close them out in 5. Moving on to the Utah Jazz, who I'm not really sure how they're here, if I'm being honest with you. Right? No disrespect to Rudy Gobert or Nerlens Noel, but there's just not a chance in hell this team is beating us. Sweep them. Moving on to Denver here. Western Conference Finals. Moutier, Harris, Gallinari, Beasley. Jokic isn't quite in MVP form yet, but he's still really, really good. I am curious what his numbers are. All right, it is time for the Western Conference Finals. We are splitting the first 2 at home, win Game 3 and Game 4 on the road, and just like that, we're in the NBA Finals taking on the Toronto Raptors, who, are always really good in these simulations. And these Raptors teams were always really good in real life. They just, always, ran into a guy named LeBron James, who, did a pretty good job of winning the Eastern Conference. So, we dropped the first 2 at home, and, oh my God, not great. Not great at all. Fuck, man. All right. I don't know what this game has. It's like a fetish for the Raptors. It's very, very strange. Again, good team. I don't really, see it that much, but nonetheless, sad ending. We had a really good season, especially in that final year, and I think we put together a really good team and just unfortunately came up short. So I hope you guys were still able to enjoy. As I mentioned, this will be the last team we do in the Western Conference for this series. We, of course, are going to finish up, later this week with the East and the Charlotte Hornets, but after that, I'm looking for video and series ideas, whatever it is you guys want to see. So let me hear it all down below in the comment section. That'll do it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.